Hello, Miss Weiser. Can we do a sound check real quick?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. We'll take a roll call. We have Ms. Shumway, Dr. Lucero, and myself, Roger Jacks, here in the boardroom, and we have Ms. Weiser on Zoom. So we do have a quorum. Item 4 is a call to the audience. The board will listen to any comment from the public, but will not respond except as permitted by Arizona Revised Statutes 38-431-01. The board may refer the item to the administration or request to have it placed on a future agenda. I do not have any slips. Do we have anybody in the room that would like to address the board? Okay, hearing or seeing none, we will move on to item 5, which is reports. Superintendent Dr. Gretchen Dorner.
Can she turn on the mic?
Sorry, Beth. I was saying from August 9th of 2021 to August 9th of 2022, we are plus 300 students. The next step, as I told administrators this morning, is to look at staff to student ratios because we are committed to continuing those ratios at or below the board approved numbers. So we'll look at grade level by grade level on every campus. And I'm going to schedule a meeting with each individual principal to look at their staffing, their student numbers, and make sure that everything is great on each campus. And then I'll work with finance as needed if we have pockets of higher numbers, just as we did last year. The other thing, we are working with SSC on a mid-contract review. As you know, it's our first year contracting services. It's been a roller coaster of a ride, as you would imagine, having facilities contracted for the first time ever. There have been some positives, negatives. We're meeting on a weekly basis with Bill McCarter, who is our Director of Facilities locally. And at least every few weeks with the regional manager, Neil Cathy, to address concerns and patterns that we see. For example, this was the first year where we contracted out summer cleaning, and we met at the beginning, kind of in the middle toward the end, and then at the end about what went well and what didn't. There's a lot that SOC learned about that process. So we put some procedures into place for improvement and then noted the things that went well. But I have asked for a very comprehensive report, which is data driven from the company based on work productivity, work orders, input from principals who they are meeting with regularly, my observations from our weekly basis, our curb appeal rating. There's a whole plethora of information that I've asked them to put together. So I will invite them to the September meeting to do not a massive, but a presentation in lieu of my board report to give you data and a mid-contract review, because we do have decisions to make before we enter into a contract again for next year.
Good. All
That's
right, thank you. Board reports. Do we have any board reports? Oh. Hearing none, we'll move on to item 6. Approval of routine orders of business. Documentation concerning the matters on the consent agenda may be reviewed at the Kingman Unified School District Office, 3033 McDonald Avenue. Any board member may request an item to be pulled off of the agenda for further discussion. Do we have any board members that want to pull anything off of the consent agenda? No. Okay. Looking for a motion to approve.
Mr. President,
Yes.
okay, go ahead. I'm going to ask that one change be made.
Oh,
on-
I'm sorry.
on the
There is
consent
one
agenda.
thing. On the approve personnel hire ratification list, we have a Donald Chrysler, and it says that he is involved with COLA, when in actuality, he will be at Kingman High School as a teacher.
Correct. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Appreciate that.
I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
Got a motion by Dr. Lucero. Second by Ms. Shumway. All those in favor say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Okay, motion passes. Moving on to item 7. This is a first reading for a change in policy, ASBA Policy Services, Policy Advisory Number 716.
Mr. President, members of the board, this is our first reading of a revision to policy JLDAB with services for behavioral health for uninsured students.
Okay, thank you. Any board discussion? All right. We're moving on to item 8. Approve the KHS culinary program and student store to continue using the Aspen cooperative contract for food and supply purchases.
Aspen allows KHS Culinary and Student Store to purchase through Sherman Foods Company. Each group pays an annual maintenance fee of 4% based on the amount spent on the previous fiscal year. The culinary program spent $6,846, and the student store's total was $4,810 during FY22. Aspen was a big part of KUSD's cafeteria orders. The KHS groups joined in as part of the KUSD account. When the district switched over to Chartwell's, Aspen gave the district the option to continue ordering supplies. The district decided to pay the annual fee for the clubs.
We're not able to hear her online.
Would you like me to repeat it all? Aspen allows the KHS culinary and student stores to purchase through Shamrock Food Company. Each group pays an annual maintenance fee of 4% based on the amount spent in the previous fiscal year. The culinary program spent $6,846, and the student store total was $4,810 during FY22. Aspen was a big part of KUSD cafeteria orders. The KHS groups joined in as part of the KUSD account. When the district switched over to Chartwell's, Aspen gave the district the option to continue ordering supplies. The district decided to pay the annual fee for the clubs. For the FY 22-23 school year, the maintenance fee is $466.27.
Okay, any questions, any board members? No. Okay, look for a motion to approve the KHS culinary program and student store to continue using Aspen Cooperative contract for food and supply purchases. Got a motion by Ms. Shumway,
Second.
got a second by Dr. Lucero. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Moving on to item number 9, approve vehicle use agreement between Hackberry School District and KUSD for the 2022-2023 school year, allowing them to operate a district bus for the transportation of their students in exchange for payment.
The agreement allows Hackberry School District to operate a district bus for the transportation of their students. This fits into the district's communication and collaboration strategy, as many other students will ultimately be a part of the KUSD family at one point in their educational careers. The following guidelines are to be followed. Hackberry is responsible for the costs associated with maintenance and repairs on the bus and to procure an insurance policy. KUSD will also invoice Hackberry on a monthly basis for the use of their bus at $70 per day for 145 days. The bus may only be operated by Hackberry and the assigned driver, and Hackberry will immediately notify KUSD of an accident and will be responsible for any costs incurred.
Okay, thank you. Any comments by board members or questions?
I don't think we've ever had problems with this agreement. It's been in existence for a long time.
No problem's been in existence a long time.
I'll make a motion to approve.
You got a motion by Dr. Lucero, looking for a second.
I'll second.
Second by Ms. Shumway. All those in favor say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. Moving on to item 10, approve to update food service agreements through Arizona Department of Education to remove Aaron Sherman and previous board president and replace with Colleen Holland and Roger Jacks as authorized signers.
I was notified from Arizona Department of Education earlier this month that the signers are out of date. So it's just updating the signers.
Okay. Any questions or comments? Okay, looking for a motion. Got a motion by Ms. Shumway,
Second.
second by Dr. Lucero. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. Moving on to item 11, approve a new course for the high school animal systems.
Mr. President, members of the board, this course supports our strategic plan initiative to strengthen pathways at all grade levels. We're asking for an approval.
I guess I have a question on the course. Course is available 9 through 12.
That's correct. It's an elective.
So it's one course, but it can be taken anytime during high school
Yes, sir.
as an elective. Gotcha. Any other questions or comments by board members? Looking for a motion to approve the new high school course animal systems.
Make a motion to approve.
A motion by Dr. Lucero. Looking for, got a second by Ms. Shumway. All those in favor say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Okay. Motion passes. Moving on to item 12, approve Title IX stipend of $5,100 for the 2022-2023 school year.
Mr. President, members of the board, as per the statute on Title IX, we have to have a committee and a Title IX compliance officer with the district. So this extra duty has been assigned to Stacy Mayo, who's our hearing officer, parent liaison. She's also our Title IX coordinator. Thank you. There's so many titles. And I'm going to defer to HR director. What are the various positions in the Title IX expectation? Coordinator, investigator.
Yes, I'm sorry. Mr. President, members of the board, yes, there would be the Title IX coordinator, the Title IX investigator. Those two
decision-maker.
can be the same person. There's an appeal role and there's a decision maker role. So they split out the the duties for each role.
So this person will coordinate it, and then the rest of us absorb various pieces of the role in our normal days and duties.
Okay, any other comments or questions?
Where does the stipend amount come from? Why is that the recommended amount?
We have done some work with her to try and figure out what an appropriate amount would be based upon the hours that she's investing outside of kind of the normal work hours. So there are student investigations involving students, staff, and so the amount was deemed to be representative of what we thought the work would entail.
Okay, any comments, other questions? Nope. Okay, looking for a motion to approve Title IX stipend of $5,100 for the 22-23 school year. Got a motion by Ms. Shumway, looking for a second.
Second.
Second by Dr. Lucero. All those in favor say aye. Aye.
Aye.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to, I'm sorry to interrupt. Ms. Young has joined us as well.
Oh, okay. Okay, item 13, discussion and possible action on private and or non-KUSD online school students participating in KUSD sports.
Mr. President, members of the board, I asked for this item to be placed on the agenda due to the recent legislation that's increased the Empowerment Scholarship Act, where parents are afforded the opportunity to receive a $6,000 voucher, then to choose the private school or curriculum of their choice. And therefore, there are now families who may have been homeschool families in the past, where they have an affidavit, they've registered with Mojave County Superintendent's Office to be a homeschool family who now may receive empowerment scholarships to participate in schools such as Emmanuel Christian School or perhaps Prenda or other private schools. And since we haven't discussed this in a while, I thought it would be appropriate with the new legislation to talk about it again. So currently, our policy and procedure is that by statute, we allow homeschool students to play in athletics in the school that they're zoned for, where their address is. If they were zoned for Lee Williams, Kingman High, White Cliffs, we would invite them to participate in the athletics as a homeschool student. And the definition of a homeschool student are those that are receiving instruction in their home with the parent as the primary provider. But with the empowerment scholarship, that kind of gets a little bit blurry. So I feel like we really need to add that to our policy and define that private school piece. Right now, it kind of just goes publicly funded online schools or homeschools. I just think we need to address the empowerment scholarship piece. So I think not necessarily action this evening, but perhaps a committee to kind of do a deeper dive into what that new legislation means, get some legal advice on it, and then to make sure that we have done our research and have answers for all of the families in our community. I think I would suggest inviting a parent, an athletic director, a board member, and have some stakeholders on a committee so that we can reaffirm what we're currently doing and or add that empowerment piece as part of the homeschool, or considering it public funding and maintaining what we're currently doing.
I think that sounds like a great idea. Is everybody in favor of that? Yeah.
Do you have a way of knowing who has taken an empowerment scholarship?
I don't have a lot of information on that at this point. So I couldn't give you a solid answer. That'd be one of the topics, I think, for the committee to research. Is there a list? Is there a repository somewhere where we can look into that? I do not know at this point.
Okay.
I volunteer to serve on the committee.
We have Dr. Lucero volunteering to serve on the committee.
I have a parent who's actually here tonight, Tiffany, who would love, she's done a lot of research
Great.
and would be happy
Hi.
to, she's got kiddos at Wallop High School and then one student who's a homeschooled student. So she's kind of got a foot in both worlds, and I would invite her to be on the committee as well.
Sounds like we have our committee.
Okay.
That's great. And then you'll
Then
take
we'll
it from
report
there.
back in a month and then continue the conversation and revise revise or maintain our policy.
Absolutely, that'd be good.
I don't mean to interrupt. It does say sports.
Yes.
I was wondering if you should just amend that to
Activities.
extracurricular activities, because I know when I was at Kingman Middle School, a lot of parents wanted to participate in band.
Yes, I think that's appropriate. We'll
Perfect
just
idea.
do the 4As.
Yes, yep.
Okay.
Okay,
Thank you, Mr. Harvey.
and we can give that direction without any vote at this point, can't we, Dr. Lucero? Yeah, okay. All right, very good. Moving on to item 14, approval to move forward with the building a structure on Kingman High School campus for Team 60 robotics.
Mr. President, members of the board, we weren't sure if this is necessary to be on a board agenda item, but if you'll recall a few months back, Jody Sherman came forward and shared information that Club 60 had been raising money. She had $50,000. You gave us the go-ahead to work with Kingman High School and Principal Ward to look for a spot on the campus. Well, the wheels on that bus have been moving. In the meantime, we've now folded in SSC for some project management advice. We have some architects, and Mr. Ward, feel free to jump in. We've got some volunteer architects and engineers on the committee. We have a full committee formed. We're currently looking at a feasibility study and the scope of work. Also working with Representative Lingenfelter, City
Correct, yeah, Lincoln Filter.
Lingenfelter, who has found a grant, I think $200,000 to
It's like
supplement.
198,000 or something like that.
Yeah, so the
Wow.
50,000, the 200,000. So to look at the scope of the work, I think SSC met with Jody Sherman and Club 60 representatives last Friday to actually start looking at how to move this forward. So we're just seeking permission, if you will, to start the next phase, the feasibility study, the architectural design, the engineering phase, and that approval to make this become a reality.
That's really exciting.
Yeah, it is exciting.
Wow, that's been a long time coming. That's really, really good.
So again, we're not sure if we need a vote, but I don't think it hurts to have one.
So the board is in favor of moving on. Do we need any kind of a motion on this one or just approving the direction?
Okay.
Yeah, I think so. Okay, very good. Thanks. Item 15, governing board to discuss and may consider action to approve the Arizona School Boards Association's draft 2023 political agenda and direct the district delegate to the ASBA Delegate Assembly to represent the board's determined position. And everyone should have a copy of what they're proposing. Actually, what they're doing is they're taking last year's political agenda and they just mark this one up. And for the most part, it's pretty small changes. It does bring some couple items up to date that weren't probably as inclusive a year ago. Has everybody had a chance to take a look at it? Do we need to go page by page, or can we vote that we're in favor of their draft agenda?
Yeah, I think I'm good with that. I agree with all the points. I'll make a motion to approve the ASBA's 23 political agenda as submitted for our school district and direct our delegate, who is Roger Jacks, to support the document at the ASBA Delegate Assembly.
I will second.
Got a motion by Dr. Lucero, got a second by Ms. Weiser.
No,
All
Young.
those- Oh, I'm sorry. Got the wrong voice there. Sorry, Carol.
That's okay.
By Ms. Young. All those in favor, say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, motion passes. And that moves us on to item 16, which is approved donations. Got a motion by Ms. Shumway, looking for a second on donations.
I'll second.
Got a second by Dr. Lucero. All those in favor say aye.
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 And that brings us to item 17 for adjournment. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Got a motion by Dr. Lucero, second.
So
by
moved.
Ms. Shumway. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
We are
Aye.
adjourned. We are adjourned.